Hey everyone, Miss Knittycat here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to knit dish scrubbies using this red Heart Scrubbie yarn. This is 100% polyester yarn and it is machine washable and it's safe for non-stick cookware, and it makes for a wonderful dish scrubby. The scrubbies that I've knit up here, they actually are quite durable, will last about 3 to 4 months, if not longer. They actually swell up a little bit when they're wet and soaked up. And the stitch that I've used for this scrubby here is the linen stitch. So for those of you who are familiar with that stitch, knitting this scrubby should be no problem. If not, I've actually provided a link to a more slower video of the linen stitch, and it's in the description field, but I'll show you how to knit it with the scrubby yarn here. Now the yarn comes in solid colors as well as in variegated colors. I have them knit up here in solid color versions, and then I've done some in 2 color versions, and I'll show you how to do both in this video. So to do this project, you're going to need US size 7 or 4.5 millimeter needles, just regular needles. They don't have to be double pointed. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a tapestry needle and then a crochet hook, which is optional if you want to use a or add a loop at the end. If you don't want to add the loop, then you don't need the crochet hook. All right, so let's get started. You're going to cast on the number of stitches indicated in the pattern. Now I believe that is 19 stitches. For this demonstration here, I'm only going to cast on 9 stitches. Any odd number of stitches should be fine. So if you want to make a larger scrubby, go ahead and cast on more stitches, that's fine. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to cast on 9 stitches. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. All right. And the pattern is just a 2-row repeat. So the first row, you're going to knit the first stitch, just a regular knit. Then you're going to bring the yarn to the front, and you're going to slip the next stitch purlwise. So you're going to insert your needle as if to purl and just pull the stitch over. Then you take the yarn to the back, and then you knit one. And that is the repeat, okay? Yarn to the front, slip, yarn to the back, knit. And you're going to keep doing that till the end of the row. And it helps if you knit a little bit on the looser side, just because the yarn can sometimes be finicky because of these loops, but actually it's really not that bad. And you can see the stitches are very distinctive, so you can really actually see the stitches as you work through them. They don't blend into each other. All right, that's the end of row 1. You're going to turn your work, and then you're ready for row 2. So row 2, the very first stitch, you're just going to slip. So you're going to take your needle, insert as if to purl, and just pull the stitch over. All right. Then you're going to purl the next stitch, just a regular purl. Then you're going to take the yarn to the back, and you're going to slip the next stitch, and then bring the yarn back to the front. So that is your repeat. You're going to purl 1, take the yarn to the back, slip, bring the yarn to the front, and purl 1, yarn to the back, slip, yarn to the front, to purl, and then take the yarn to the back, ending in a slip 1. Okay, and that's it. So your last stitch here is just going to be slipped on, and you're going to turn your work, and that's the end of your 2-row repeat. So you're going to keep repeating these 2 rows. Now to repeat row 1 again, you'll notice that your yarn is actually in between these first 2 stitches. And that's okay, that's how it's going to be because we slipped that last stitch. So what you want to do is you want to take your needle, insert it, because now you're going to start row 1 with a knit one, and just make sure you take this yarn under this second needle, okay? And then knit it. So knit 1, bring the yarn to the front, slip, yarn to the back, knit. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish out this row 1 and row 2 one more time, so that I can show you how to do the how to join the yarn in the 2-color version. All right, so that's the end of row 1. Let's do the row 2 one more time. I'm going to slip and then purl, yarn to the back, slip, and purl and slip and purl, and it goes by really fast once you get familiar with the pattern. And make sure you don't drop stitches like I'm doing now. And yarn to the back, slip. Okay. Now, if you're at this stage and you want to join a second color, here's the second color I'm using for this demonstration. Just leave about a 4-inch tail or so, and you're just making a loop like that. You don't have to tie a knot or anything right now. You're just making a loop. You're going to take your needle, insert it. Now this yarn, just like before, we take it to the back, but we just take it to the back and hold it, because now we're going to start knitting with this new yarn. So you're just going to hook this on and you're going to knit that first stitch. Okay, then you're going to bring the yarn, just make sure you have the working part of the yarn and not the tail. Bring the yarn to the front, slip, yarn to the back, knit. And you keep doing that to the end of the row. Now after you've knit a few stitches, you can go ahead and tie a knot at the start where you've joined the yarn, and I'll do that in just a second here. So you can take your tail, the new yarn tail, and just tie a knot. Given that this is a dish scrubby, knots are okay. They hide really nicely with this yarn. All right, then you're going to turn your work and you're going to do row 2 with this second yarn that you've joined. Now you'll notice that at the end of row 1, every alternate stitch is in the new color, and that's because we've done a knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1. So the slip stitch is still in the previous color. Now when you do row 2, all stitches will convert to this new color. So slip the first stitch, purl 1, yarn to the back, slip, yarn to the front, purl. And you will see that all stitches have now converted to the new color. And that's one way to know if you leave your work and come back and you're like, wait, was I on row 1, row 2, where am I? You'll know that if all stitches are in one color and both yarns are at the same end, then you've just completed row 2 in this color, which means now you're gonna start again with the next color. So when you do the 2-color version, you want to do 2 rows, row 1 and 2 with one color, then you alternate it with the next color. So I've just done rows 1 and 2 with this color, and now I'm going to go back to the pink color. So you want to do the same thing like we did before. The yarn, this yarn of this current color, you're going to take it and hold it towards the back, and you're going to bring this other yarn, the working yarn, which is still attached of the other color, from under it, and then knit. Okay? And doing that will ensure that you have a nice and clean edge. Oh, let me try that one more time. Here we go. And then yarn to the front, slip, etc., etc. So each time you end, just make sure you take the current yarn to the back and the new yarn that you're going to take from under it. And here I have a version or a sample knit up with all of the stitches done in the 2-color, and I'm ready at the end. So for the 1-color or the 2-color version, once you've knit up the size that you want, for these ones, I knit them up to about 3 inches and then I bind them off, just a regular bind off. So I have only a few more stitches left here to bind off. I'm going to go ahead and bind these off. And you can use any type of bind off you like if you want to use a fancier bind off, but just a regular bind off works just fine. And that's it. If you don't want to add that optional loop, then once you come to the end, you snip your yarn, you pass it through this loop and pull it tight and weave your ends in, and that's it. You've got your scrubby. Now if you do want a loop at the end, you're going to use a crochet hook, a size G, which is 4.25 millimeters, works fine, or a size higher than that, maybe a size H, or one lower than that should be okay too. Anything that works with this yarn should be fine. Can handle the thickness of this yarn. Okay, so then you insert your crochet hook in there, and all you're going to do is make about 10 or 11 chains. So to make a chain, if you've never done crochet before, it's really very simple. You just loop the yarn around the hook, pull it through, and you've made a chain. And do the same thing again. That's 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'll do 11, okay? You can make this a bigger loop, smaller loop, it doesn't matter, but about 10 to 12 is what I would say to make a decent sized loop. Then you're going to take this and you're just going to insert it in the hole here right at the bottom, just through there, and then hook it through again and pull it through. And you can then take that first loop and pull it through the second loop, and that's it. And to absolutely secure it, pull this yarn through one more time, and then you're going to snip it and pull it all the way through. And then you're going to use the tapestry needle to weave in all the ends. Now if you have a crochet hook, you can certainly use the crochet hook as well to weave in the ends, and that's it. You've got your 2-color scrubby, or 1 color. If you have any questions at all on this project or about this pattern, please leave me a message in the comments field. If you like the video, please click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I hope to post a lot more videos coming up. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments field and I'll do my best to answer them. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you give this project a try, and happy knitting!